Go.
Hey, how you guys doing? It's the producer from Brothers Comics. Welcome to our Who Dey Over 40 podcast, our podcast for long-suffering Bengals fans. You can listen to the audio on the podcast, or you can catch us out on video here. You can see the whole crew is here right now. If you're watching behind Hutch's screen, you might get a freaking epileptic seizure or something. All the flashing behind on the NFL Network. What the hell's going on over there?
That's anyway, the Hard Knocks.
Yeah, introduce the fellas tonight. Right or on the bottom of the screen. Here's the Sandman. Sandman, say what's happening.
What's up, people? Look, I found my own Bengal hat. Yay!
How long you had that?
Oh, 30 years or something. No, maybe like 10 years or something like that.
Oh.
I don't know.
That hat
longer
like
than I should have.
Also, yeah, I'm rocking the AJ Green, my son's old AJ Green jersey, probably from when he was 6 or 8, maybe 10 at the latest. Also on the line, rocking the Bengals apron there. Look at that. Oh my goodness. That's Big Hutch. What's going on, man?
Hey, I found this at Goodwill. Wasn't even used. I wonder why.
Yeah.
Yay!
You know what? Tailgating and the Bengals, I've only done it, I guess, sort of twice. But like the time Hutch, me and I went to the preseason game with the Falcons, all we did was drink beer in the parking lot. Fans around. And then I went with my kids to see them play the Chargers, ironically. And we had a big tailgate there, but that's about it. Like my other Bengals tailgate, when I went to see them play the Dolphins this year, I didn't do any of that. Just like rushing to the stadium. Y'all ever tailgate with Bengals fans? Understood.
Whoa.
Yeah, for real.
All right.
Y'all ever tailgate with the Bengals?
The last game I even went to was in the 80s, and we did good just to get there. So no, we didn't tailgate nothing. Yeah, that's all much. You got about 2.5 more than tailgates than I did.
Hush, tailgate with Bengals fans?
I've never tailgated with Bengal fans, but I did set up a nice spread for that Bengal playoff game in 2016.
Don't do it.
No.
Yeah, don't do it, sir.
Oh no!
Don't do it to yourself. Yeah, it's just
too late.
Yeah,
none but pain
could come from that. Yeah, when I went to the game with the Chargers with the kids, there was a significant tailgating situation outside of Paul Brown Stadium. And to be honest with you, looking at us, there was a significant black tailgating situation outside of Paul Brown Stadium, something that I hadn't expected in the least.
Wow.
Yeah, so I've actually told a very blue story about that on a different podcast, but we'll talk about that at another time or whatever. But,
the Bengals are the team for black folks?
I mean, look, if you're from Ohio, like there's a clear divide for people that's like Southwest Ohio and like people from Cleveland. Like, I mean, I don't want to use the words I want to use, but like Cleveland niggas is different. They just are. So, like, to try to say that, like, oh, yeah, y'all all from Ohio and y'all might have some similarities.
It stops. It stops.
Yeah, West Ohio, after Columbus. Yeah.
No, there's a difference.
It's a completely different person that on that side of the state. I don't know if it's the weather, I don't know what it is, but those are some different cats that live on that side of that state. So, yeah. All right. But the show today is the subtitle is Who Dey Over 40 versus training camp update. So the Bengals have been back in camp for a couple of weeks now. COVID tests are over.
We passed. Yay, we're 1-0.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah.
Celebrate.
Yeah, we're going to update some of the situations there. We're going to talk about some injuries that have occurred. We're going to talk about a major signing or whatever and how that affects the Bengals defensive line. Halftime, we're going to talk about COVID. We're all Ohio State fans. We know we got Bengals crap up here. We're from the good side of Ohio on that side of I-70. So we're cheering for the Ohio State Buckeyes. And the Big Ten was like, no, we're not going to do this year, at least not until later in the year, if we do it at all. And so we'll talk about that.
The blue states have all said no.
Yeah. And we'll talk about Joe Burrow. You know, I mean, he is the topic of really everything that we're going to do moving forward for this team. And, you know, kind of the early returns on Joe Burrow. And then the fourth quarter is a little bit of a surprise topic with video that we'll drop on the fellas. So we'll get for that. All right. So let's get it started. All right. First quarter, Bengals injuries. This is as typical Bengals stuff as you could ever imagine. Trae Wayans, huge free agent signing. Spent, I think it's 3 years, $42 million or something to that effect. Tears his pectoral muscle, lifting.
Did we draft him in the first round?
I mean, he tears his pectoral muscle lifting, nothing major. Expected to be out. You know, he went to get a second opinion. Expected to be out, you know, at a minimum of 2 months. You know, with everything that's going on, that might even wind up being no months, really. But that would probably put him at missing, you know, where we are today. It would probably put him at missing maybe the first 4 games of the season. I don't know nothing about him anyway, to be perfectly honest with you. Somebody needs to start opposite of William Jackson III on that other side. Could be the other dude that they signed from the Dolphins.
Gonna have to be, I hope.
It's going to have to be now,
the Vikings, McKenzie. Well, you say that, and I'll throw it out there too. Darius Phillips, even though with limited snaps, if the ball comes in his general direction, he is intercepting it. Now, can he do that on a day-to-day basis? I mean, what do y'all think, Hutch, about, you know, the opposite side of William Jackson, who is greatly underperformed since his first 2 years, but is also in a contract year. So, I mean, what do you think about the corner situation?
Next man up, and I hope it's the best man up, because there's gonna be a whole lot of pigskin flying around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sam, what do you think? Darius Phillips, I think he has like something like 7 interceptions in such a limited number of snaps in the 3 years that he's been there. Like the first year he didn't really play. I mean, he has a ridiculous amount of interceptions based on the number of snaps.
Yeah, he does have a nose for the ball, which you know, you need that as a cornerback. I don't know what's the deal with him. Is he just?
Damn, that's a bad omen.
AJ just went down.
Uh-oh.
Go ahead.
Can you hear us?
Sorry.
Okay.
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Is he just like injury prone, or is it what is the deal with him? Is it just does he not get enough picks when the ball is thrown his way? I really I'm not an expert on him. So
remember he's drafted by Marvin, and so Marvin's like, you're young, you're not playing. So that eliminates that part of it. And then I think they got
that's Marvin, all right.
Like, oh, wait, okay, so he's going to return kicks or punts because they wanted to special teaming, which will get you injured for sure. And then, like, when he actually got an opportunity to play, you know, limited snaps. Again, he's got a bunch of interceptions for somebody that, you know, with the limited number of snaps. I think
limited amount of snaps, yeah.
I think he had 2 in the finale against the Browns this season. I mean, it's just somebody's got a nose for the ball. Somebody's got to start opposite of him. I made the joke, Hutch, like, oh, wait a minute, Drake Kirkpatrick still hasn't signed with anybody. You know, we could bring him back.
Yeah, that's a joke. I'm assuming I think what did he get hurt his leg or knee or something?
Who?
Dre?
Yeah, Dre.
No, I don't know. He's plenty healthy. I don't think there's any reason why
he just got cut.
Just trying to get him at a discount. Yeah, this is trying to get him at the deepest discount ever.
As bad as teams need cornerbacks, I'm surprised he is still available unless he still has a lingering injury issue.
Yeah, it's really surprising. You know,
there's such a thing called tape though, and they've seen Dre like, oh, this mofo can't catch. Oh, well, and he can't tackle. Oh, hell no.
Denard got hired by the Falcons. I'm not sure how long he'll last, but
for sure
they'll put anybody back there on their corner.
Yeah. Shouts out to home team Brandon Leak at the Atlanta radio station. He follows on Twitter or whatever, and he announced the signing. I was like, hey man, longtime Bengal fan. Listen, he's a slot corner only. If you put him out on the edges, he's going to get burnt, and I mean burnt. He was like, good to know.
I mean, even in the slot, he was getting burnt.
I mean,
he gotta play Brady twice and Breeze twice. Good luck.
Yeah.
Nice.
But I doubt it.
So that's a big injury there. At least in terms of the money that they paid. Obviously, they had paid Trae Wayans to come in and start. Again, maybe he'll get some.
Yeah.
Pectoral muscle tears are fairly common anymore. I think
For
somebody.
us,
Really?
Well, I think somebody caught that. What's that? J.J. Watt got that last year. He missed a good portion of the season, came back at the end for the playoffs or whatever.
didn't Price get that too?
Billy Price got that too,
Billy
right?
Price got
But he got it
that,
in January.
I'm
and
glad
he
when he shows up.
He was ready when he came back in August or whatever. Side brother topic or whatever. I saw this thing on Billy Price that he came into camp at 3:30. Like he really hit the
I was going to mention that.
And
he gained some weight.
Came in from like 312 to 330, like 20 pounds of weight. Trying to get bigger, stronger, or whatever.
He was getting pushed around, so this is his solution to it. So
the password is
not solution, but yeah.
The password is guard.
Yeah, I don't think he's got any chance of being center. His best opportunity is going to be right guard.
They done already paid homeboy. Can't think of his name, but
Siafuli.
So
follow Malawala.
Siafuli.
Yeah. So it's guard or free agency.
Guard
or bust.
Yeah.
First round pick.
Bust is
a damn first round pick.
Mm-hmm. All right, there's other injuries, and not really an injury. Snake-bitten wide receiver John Ross leaves camp. His 3-year-old son has COVID. Sandman, you said if John Ross didn't have bad luck, he would have no luck at all.
I mean, what is it going to be next? I mean, God, stay inside or a damn meteor is probably going to hit him. I mean, Jesus Christ, this cat can't catch a break.
Can't catch a break.
I'm hoping for him. Yeah, well, he can't.
Right, he get paid $5 million.
Yeah, and this was it for him with the Bengals. He was probably gone regardless. Let's face it. But you could at least hope that he had a good year, and maybe the Bengals could. I don't know if they could trade him, or if they could, which I doubt, or he could on his next team he could have a chance. And now that's even in jeopardy. So I mean, it's terrible. His son and I guess his baby mama both got it, and that's bad enough. And he can't play because of it now too. That's God bless him, man. It's terrible.
Yeah, it's just bad luck, Hush.
And I hope his family is well. I got $1 to donuts. He probably don't catch it because it ain't a Bengal game. So that puts him out till, probably around Labor Day or so.
Yeah.
He'll come back. Hey.
2 weeks before.
Right. Hey, hope I got my third wide receiver spot still open. No.
Yeah. There's no shot that he's with the Bengals next year unless for some ungodly reason he goes out and gets 80 catches for 1,000 yards. I mean, there's no way. There's just no way.
No way.
No, it's just.
I mean, if they bring him back, he's coming back for pennies on the dollar. And the funny thing is, with his speed, he's going to be able to find a job, but he just can't
stay healthy.
Like, I mean,
he can't get right.
Yeah. I mean, you just can't
get right.
I mean, I feel bad for him in that regard, and I hope that, it's obviously his family's okay, but I mean, golly, man, it's just bad luck.
Him and Tyler Eifert, I would rather take Eifert.
Another one.
Come on.
At least Eifert was.
Eifert, at least when he was on the field, was worth it. This dude got $18, $19 million. He been stealing. Straight up stealing.
If John Ross could be John Ross for them 2 first games from this past season, we would be in business. We would be talking about buy AJ Green.
Right. I'm sorry. The dude picked before you and the dude picked after you got paid, is all pros, Super Bowl winners. You are a bum.
Mm-hmm.
One more thing. I want to bring this up. Everybody, I mean, there's office politics, and I think we all pretty sure that there's Bengal politics. And I'm pretty sure Mr. Brown is like, hey, you, number 9, that I'm paying a lot of money to, make sure that Ross dude don't get a lot of yards.
That's terrible.
That's yeah.
That's
Look,
come on, that's terrible.
Well, like we did it to Terrell Owens.
Yeah, come on,
right.
man. If this was
politics is real.
What's that show that comes on before PTI? Around the Horn. I would mute your
Around the Horn.
Mute me, hell. I'm running this shit.
Oh my God, that's terrible.
Oh my God. Well, hey, real quick. Speaking of Mike Brown, do you think this is a terrible situation? But do you think with old dude getting hurt, the corner, do you think that's going to re-sour him on future free agency splurges? Let's say, and him going like, "See, I was right. That's why I don't never go with the free agency. I was right." And then you lose,
I think he
12
had
years in a row.
I think he had nothing to do with this free agency binge. I think that's all Katie Blackburn. I don't think he had.
I do agree with that. I do agree with that.
I just don't think
true.
They just
like
wrestled the check.
Almost $100 million a season. I mean,
at least
a whole lot of money.
A whole lot of money.
More combined in the last 10 years, maybe, or something like that. I don't know what, something crazy, but a whole lot of damn money.
And most of it defense.
Well, I mean, we're going to talk about defense and another signing here momentarily or whatever, which, again, it comes back to this idea of like, where was this money before? Y'all always had it when you were actually at an opportunity to sign some players to get close when you were a playoff team. That would have done something to get you to the playoffs and maybe into the dang on Super Bowl as opposed.
There you go.
Let's just draft well or whatever. Also, Ross T. Higgins picked up some sort of hamstring injury this past week as well. Soon to be replaced.
Yeah, I heard about that
allegedly
too.
Not serious, anything like that, but it obviously doesn't help. They're not playing anybody anyway, so he needs every single training camp snap to begin with. So it obviously doesn't help. Yeah, T. Higgins, I think just a slight hamstring type of thing, which should be surprising seeing that these people couldn't train for all this time. Soft tissue.
Yeah.
Even happen when people are training. So, all right.
Yeah,
that's the first quarter. Let's get into the second quarter signings. And it's not the Joe Mixon signing that everybody's waiting to drop. We haven't really talked about this, and we probably should. Joe Mixon wants to be a top 10 paid running back. His statistics probably justify that. However,
warrants it.
Paying running backs a bunch of money, not necessarily a great idea moving forward in terms of playoff teams, salary cap, whatever. So, Hutch, are you willing to be paying Joe Mixon $10+ million a year moving forward when that you could get, generally speaking, any running back in a later round and pay them freaking pennies on the dollar and essentially have this close to the same version of production?
The answer is no. The top 100 players came out not too long ago, and I think Chris Cason from Seattle came in at 96. Mm-hmm. Some people believe that Joe Mixon is better than him.
Yeah.
And I mean, the stats say that he is, but his production on the field, I don't think it matches up. I don't think he's an okay running back. He's not a game-changing running back.
Do we know that though, Sandman?
That's what
just hampered by. Yeah.
Yeah. We don't know what he is because we've had one of the worst offensive lines in NFL history in front of him, and dude still was leading the AFC in rushing. That tells me that there's something actually pretty good going on his behalf. So, I mean, do I want to pay him $10 million a year? Oh, hell no. No, you can. Yeah. The Bengals actually are one of the few positions they seem to excel at as running backs year in, year out. You can go in and get another bum in there and probably get at least 75% of the production out of him, and which would be fine with me. I mean, I do like Mixon though, when they drafted him, I thought I was angry. I thought it was a mistake because of obviously the hijinks he had going on outside of football. But he's been very good though. Again, with a terrible offensive line. And so, I mean, if they could get some deal with him that's not insane, I could go along with it. But I don't know. That's a hard one, man. I really don't
Jeremy
know.
Hill's available.
You know, he got signed and cut this week. Did you see that?
The same, like the day after
they signed with
him.
the Raiders and then got cut like the same. Was it the Raiders? I think it was the Raiders.
It was the Raiders.
It was the Raiders.
Which tells you everything you need to know.
Signed and cut the same day.
Right.
Yeah.
But he got a Super Bowl ring.
Don't drop it. No. Yeah. Terrible.
Don't do it. I'm not a fan of that particular signing, but it's all the tea leaves say that that's going to happen. So you just might have to get ready. And again, they get this 5 years of Joe Burrow on that rookie contract of, you know, this is the 5 years that you have to win. Like as soon as teams get that quarterback that they got to pay ridiculous amounts of money to, their salary caps, you know, craters, and then they can't win. Like it is what it is. Like look at the top 5 paid quarterbacks that are not Tom Brady, who wasn't a top 5 paid quarterback all the time he was winning in New England because, you know, his wife makes $1 billion. You know, shout out Giselle. He doesn't need the money, so he could take these whatever deals, and you know, New England could build around it. Like as soon as those other teams get that freaking Aaron Rodgers, you may be able to get to the playoffs, but you don't have the pieces to do anything else because you can't spend any money because your quarterback's making $60 million. I mean, Washington. Excuse me, the Vikings now or whatever with whatchamacallit. The Falcons are hampered by freaking whatchamacallit's deal. I mean, it is what it is. The Rams, I mean, they cratered as soon as they paid that dude that money.
And he sucks. That's the other problem.
And he sucks. Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
Yeah, it went straight down the tubes after
that second contract, it just kills your team, man. If you don't, I mean, it just kills them.
Yeah.
Freaking, I mean, even the Steelers, and he was taking, you know, discounted dollar deals too, and it just killed them too. Right. I mean, it just does. So, I mean, the Bengals.
Drew Brees was playing on a discount. Like, you know, now you gotta pay somebody $30 million a year
to be average. Yes, exactly.
That can get $30 million to be average.
Yep. I mean, hello, Ravens.
That's a franchise ender. That's terrible.
Yep. Hello, Ravens. If Lamar Jackson don't win this year, y'all are you're gonna have to pay $35 million there in the coming up, and it's just not gonna happen.
I smell. I think boy from the Rams is gonna get cut. The dude from the Raiders is gonna get cut.
Yeah.
And we'll see.
Yeah.
You just can't. I mean, there's no like, oh, okay, he's middle of the road. Like, no, we got to pay him, which I always find hilarious because I think if Andy Dalton had hit the market or whatever as a middle of the range quarterback, and they're like, oh, we don't want to pay him. No, somebody was going to pay him $30 million. Like, that's ridiculous. Somebody.
At least, I say at least 20, 25.
Like that, but that's crazy too.
That is crazy. Oh,
that's insane too.
It's crazy.
The level of
he will get paid that in Dallas next year, unless they win the Super Bowl.
That's right. That $35 million for Dak Prescott. That's insanity. It's insanity. So
that's terrible.
All right. So anyway, the Bengals wind up cutting Ryan Glasgow for injury, and then Josh DePupu's like, "Hey, I'm opting out for COVID," and so they were hurt defensive tackle spot. They didn't have nobody to play behind Reeder and Atkins. And so there was a rumor floating out there, Hutch, that they were going to sign back Domata Peko, which would have created
I forgot about
podcast.
You can hear the sigh over the airwaves.
Would have created an emergency podcast situation. But they did.
Right. If they'd have brought that fat ass, lazy fuck back to the Bengals, I would have fucking burnt this shit like Pac Man. I was like, ooh, Ray Malu is available. Except he's in jail.
Yeah, he's in jail. Yeah, how's that ball? It's a whole other story.
But he's close. He's in Kentucky.
He is close. I had heard on another podcast that like there was mutual interest with Peko to come back. I was like, that is
Of course there was.
And that was Peko's agent? With his wife?
Yeah, shit. Peko went to the playoffs last year with the Ravens, and they think he went the year before with or a couple years ago with the Broncos. So I mean,
the fact that he's still in
check.
So he's still in check, but he's trying to get some playoff checks too.
Motherfucker, give me that money.
Yeah, Pecco's showing up.
It might be 8th string, but he's still on that damn team.
Damn.
Pecco's showing up every Friday like this, stealing money. For real. Just straight up.
He has something over his eyes, too.
Man,
well, that's your fat ass, Pecco. We see you.
Anyway, so the Bengals looking for they signed Mike Daniels, defensive tackle from the Lions, to a 1-year deal, roughly about $3 million. A top 100 player for 3 years in a row. Like, he made his hay with the Packers in the years that the Packers were doing very well. Signed with the Lions or whatever, and injuries. And let's be perfect. If the Bengals are a place where free agents go to die, the Lions are just as bad, if not worse.
Oh, if not worse, they would be the one I would pick under the Bengals.
Yeah, I mean, that people go to die in Detroit like that for real players.
Yeah.
Actually, he's healthy. They signed him to the contract. Now the Bengals have 3 essentially top 100 players at defensive tackle. Again, a signing that nobody would have predicted or whatever, given the situation. So, I mean, Hush, you got 3 solid defensive tackles, all 3 good against the run. At some point in time, they should be doing all right.
If the other teams are doing the hurry-up offense and you can let our dudes lumber on and off the field, we should be all right. But everybody is doing hurry-up offenses, and we might be in trouble.
Well, I mean, now you don't have to have Geno play 70% of the snaps. Like, you can rest him or whatever. Like, I think Daniels is 31, Geno is 32. Reader, I think it's 27 or 28. I mean, so you have a decent rotation of 2 defensive tackles that are in there. So I think this is a solid signing for them if he's not injured, if he's in shape, if he's motivated to earn $3 million, and try to earn another contract outside of the Bengals, because that's really where he's at. Like, let me get a year something else, and try to get healthy. But I mean, I think this is a solid signing by Cincinnati. Saying
I would rather have Clowney, but
we're getting to that.
Well, who wouldn't? But yeah, this is I was shocked to hear, like, I had forgotten about him. I don't remember him well, but I do remember the name. And when they were able to pick him up, I was like, for a backup, D tackle, second, third string, that's a nice little signing. The only thing that worries me, don't get me started. As soon as they said Pecco's name, Mike Brown was like, sign him, I know him.
Also, another sign that he's not in the charge of making none of these decisions, because that would have been a Mike Brown signing to bring him back.
That is a straight up Mike Brown signing. Oh, God.
He knows the defense. We didn't have a defense. He knows it. He's the reason.
Sign him. But that's a good signing by the Bengals. That's a good signing for them. Hopefully it works out.
I thought so too. And and I think their defensive line has become, again, something that's been continuous over the last few years. Is something that's a strength for the team. The problem is now that we may have some depth at D tackle. Our depth at defensive end is paper thin. It's only Sam Hubbard. You can't really depend on Carl Lawson because he's only, he's a third down rush specialist. Can't put him second down. I mean, there's no defensive ends on that team that are worth anything.
Is he a DN or a damn linebacker? What do they have him as?
He's a hybrid.
He's a hybrid.
He's a hybrid.
I assure you, if they're they're going to be like, oh, he's a linebacker. I assure you, because they're going to pay him at linebacker prices. And
there you go.
I mean, again, somebody did really well the first year, then got injured, everybody played shitty last year, and now he's in a contract. So he's going to be trying to do his best to get to the quarterback. That dude had, 9.5, 10 sacks as a rookie. I mean, that's just insane.
Hey, he was a monster that year. Yeah.
But I don't know. But yeah, they're going to need to be looking. And my son brought up, like, hey, are they in the business for clowning? I'm like, again, in a fantasy world that we've lived in before, they would have never been in clowning. But now we're in a reality world where they're like, hey, you come in, play for this little bit amount of money because the Bengals got it, and try to rehab your image yourself or whatever, Hutch, and He clearly doesn't want to play in Cleveland because they've been chasing him like a freaking.
Oh, right. Yeah, he won't. He don't want to play in Cleveland.
Smart.
Smart.
You're right. That's smart. Who has he not played for other than us? He didn't travel all. He's been around now.
Nah, it was Houston, Seattle, and
Houston, Seattle. Yeah.
And that's it, right? Yeah, only 2 teams. I mean, he could come to Cincinnati. You try to find the connection if he has some sort of connection or whatever. I guess DJ Reader would probably be the only connection that he would have.
Yeah, that would be the only one.
If Reader can do what Ocho Cinco did for Owens and be like, hey, come on in, man. We could do a show together after this game.
Hey, now
whatever.
No, what they need to do is have him come in on the Eric Bischoff WCW contract, Hulk Hogan contract. Look, just come in for like 5 pay-per-views, and we'll pay you a bunch of money. We just need you to play on Sundays. Don't practice. You don't have to play on first or second down. Like, all you're going to be like a third down specialist with $1 million at 30% of the snaps. He'd take it.
I think he wants more than that. But I hear you. If we can get Clowney in, so I mean, the Bengals spent a gang load of money on the defense, and I mean, we just spent a lot of money, but it's a whole bunch of Izod's, it's the Levi's. It's name brand, kind of name brand stuff, but it ain't the high end stuff, and it ain't Kmart either.
When you draft like shit, this is what happens. You have to go out and spend money to correct all your mistakes, and they ain't all pros when you spend all that money a lot of time, if not most of the time. But
it's bad. But this is a good signing, I think, for the Bengals. Like, I think this is solid. It's really one of those situations where you miss like the idea that they're not going to have preseason, because this would have been good to kind of see, the role and all, like to see it. But I mean, it is what it is at this point. All right, let's get into the halftime topic. Bengals are only down by 2 touchdowns at this point. You see the Bengals stuff or whatever. If you've listened to this podcast before, we're all Ohio State fans. This is, a real weird time or whatever. We should probably been having since January about, how Joe Burrow beat Ohio State in the freaking national championship game based on some BS that happened in that Clemson game. But that's a different podcast too. So now we're at a situation where COVID-19 has knocked out the Pac-12, the Big Ten, the Pac-12, I think the Big West, some other conferences. They're like, we're not going to be playing football. The SEC, the ACC are pretty much the only ones that are really holding on to this thing about trying to keep it going for now.
Yeah.
And I just, before we started, I just saw this thing from a couple of Clemson players. There was Auburn players. A couple of tweets. They were like, we're cool in the football facility, but I went out to someplace or at the bar or the dorms or whatever. It's full of people with no mask on or whatever. I mean,
no mask.
Yeah, it's gonna be what it's gonna be eventually or whatever. And so the big cancels out the season. So we're really gonna concentrate on it from a Big Ten Ohio State perspective or whatever. So I mean, I'll throw it to y'all. What is the motivation for Justin Fields to be playing football in January? I mean, honestly. Like, there's really no benefit for him where he's going to get this accrued credit. So he'd be 3 years out of high school, Hutch, so he can go to the NFL. I mean, he can only hurt himself by either playing like shit or getting hurt.
Right. There's no justification for Justin Fields to play for Ohio State in 2020 or 2021. Right. He should just I'm surprised he's still on the team. He should be like, somebody in the Ohio State called me the N-word, so now I'm going to blank state.
Repeat. A repeat.
Awful.
Yeah. I saw some Georgia fans talking about on Twitter, like, oh, well, he should have stayed in here and then he would have been this, that.
They
y'all
still
remember
mad
why
at
he
him.
left? What y'all did to that poor man to make him leave?
Uh-huh.
I don't think so. Sandman, is there any reason for him or Olave or whatever to risk their careers playing for the national championship will be over by the time they even play these games.
Yeah, no joke. No, man, it's bad for Ohio State. It's benefit for Ohio State, but there's no benefit for them to come back. Yeah, that's going to hurt their standing. I mean, yeah, in the draft, they could really hurt his standing in the draft because right now he's going to be what, a top 2-3 player?
Maybe he should be a top 5 pick. Somebody needs a quarterback.
Talking about Fields.
Quarterback taken.
Olave could probably be a low first round receiver. Maybe even higher. I don't know. But yeah, there's no incentive for them to come back, man. It's a raw deal for Ohio State. They're losing top-notch players, not even playing this year because of COVID, man. It sucks. It sucks all the way around. But yeah, I wouldn't.
But it's the right call, though. It's the right call. I wrote an article about it. I mean, there's no reason. I mean, if Susie Q and all them folks can't be in the stands watching the game because you're trying to keep them safe, how in the hell can you have them dudes running up against each other, sweating on each other, and various other things that happen at the bottom of a pile?
Correct.
That's crazy.
And you got they're going to be at this campus with 60,000 people on it. Like, oh, they're going to stay in the dorms. Have you met 19 and 20-year-olds? They're not going to do that. They're going to be around.
They're going to fornicate.
They're going to be all over each other.
Right.
Yes, they're going to do all of that.
They don't use roach clips when they smoke weed.
Yeah.
they're going to be right. They're going to be lip to lip contact on that weed, on that joint, on that beer.
Yes, exactly. On that freaking keg stand, all that stuff is going to happen. I don't understand why anybody thinks that, there's this idea that this, the kind of right-wing Republican portion of the world, when the players was like, we want to play, but they didn't get past we want to play because we want it to be safe. We need testing, contact tracing. Like, we need all of these things for us to be able to play and be safe, like the NFL is having. Well, college football, I mean, they got the money for it. They just don't want to spend it on the players. They don't.
Right. They don't want to pay the players. Exactly. And that's another thing, right? Yeah. The only people that showed up at the school are the faculty and the football players. It might be trying to pay the football players.
Yeah, exactly.
And that went out the window. The SEC is like, we'll pay, and they probably are.
Yeah.
Already are, exactly.
I mean, it's so deep or whatever too, because obviously a lot of those SEC schools, or all of them in the South or whatever, all of them probably got Republican governors, all of them listening to the orange doofus, and it becomes this issue where we're going to just roll them out there and see what happens. I mean, that's an experiment, and you're wrong. And one of these kids is going to get this, and they're going to get sick. And one of them's gonna probably die. Wait
a minute.
It's inevitable, man. It's Thanos, dude. It's inevitable.
It ain't Thanos.
It is Thanos.
They're not gonna die. They'll be sick.
We hope not. But I would count on it happening more than it would.
But I mean, we're looking at the professional leagues now. We heard about the Reds got a positive test.
Yeah, they canceled their game today.
Right. Yeah. Their game is canceled. The Marlins just now started playing again,
a couple of weeks ago, a few days ago.
St. Louis got to play 55 games in 45 days.
Yeah.
Half their team is down pretty much.
I mean, it's insane. And and those are more controlled environments than a college football environment. Way more.
Yeah. It's insane.
Boosters and whatever. I mean, it's just insane. I don't understand how.
And have Seattle players bring in naked women.
That story is unbelievable.
She was bringing wings from Magic City, man. That's all it was. That's all it was.
Yeah, man. Named after him.
Yeah, that's terrible. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, and again, young people are stupid. But how stupid are you gonna be?
With money too, lots of money.
But you're an undrafted rookie getting a chance to live out your dream or whatever. And you can't get through training camp without trying to smash an Instagram girl. So, come on, dude.
That's what young people do.
But did you see the NBA? I mean, off topic, did you see the NBA open up the dome for family members, but they got all these kind of subtle rules that you can't be bringing in Instagram hoes to the like you have to have a long-standing relationship with this person. Like you can't just like this person needs to come.
Like these are the same people that well, first off, you could get them. You come one and done out of college. They ain't read their contract. They ain't read them rules either. They probably signed it though.
Read? No, ain't none of that going on.
Right.
Yeah. So I want to see Ohio State win. They would have been obviously a favorite to go back to the playoffs for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
And whatnot. Like, it's just, Ohio State restacks, again, like, next year, whatever, we're going to lose Justin Fields, blah, 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 blah. Ohio State's gotten to that point where they're a restock program, essentially.
They're right. They're blue blood.
Yeah.
Right.
They reload.
There definitely would have been a top 4 playoff team.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
It is what it is. And again, maybe it turns out where everybody winds up pushing to January. But in the same breath, if I'm some top player at Alabama or if I'm Trevor Lawrence, I'm not playing in January. I'm not sure.
No.
But I'm definitely not playing now. I'm not playing
number one in the draft.
6 months before I'm about to get drafted, I'm not playing.
Right. And then even if they do play a spring season or whatever, you got to do it all over again, 4 months later.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't see how they do it. I just don't see it happening.
That's a professional league shit. That's more professional league.
It is a professional league. They're just not playing they're not paying the product or not playing the players.
Right.
There you go.
Idea of amateurism and for college, any sports really, but for football, it's ridiculous. Pay them people their freaking money. My goodness, y'all are. That's again. I hate to use the term because it's not slave labor, but it's definitely indentured servitude.
It's indentured servitude.
Y'all are making 90% of the money off of 10% of the labor, and ain't that son? So
and their likeness and all this shit, you can't get paid for that.
Jerseys, you can't get nothing.
Yeah,
can't even get a job to go pay for it on the other side. Come on, man. Whatever. So yeah, that's it. All right, so let's get out of the tunnel there. And into quarter 3, early Joe Burrow reviews. If you listen to podcasts or read Hobson or any of the other Bengals stuff, people are like, wow.
ESPN too.
Yeah, showing maturity, showing, making checks that, whatever people couldn't make, all the things that you would think that a veteran quarterback's doing that he's coming into the league to do. I'm saying, man, something that people forget about, Joe Burrow, I think, is already 23 years old. So, he's super mature as it is. So it's probably not a surprise that he's that mature, but, kind of what was your level of expectation going in? Do you think people were going to be talking so highly of him once camp started?
Actually, I'm surprised that he's getting this much praise. Part of it because I thought that it's the Bengals. We ain't praising them. We mad that he went there in the first place. He didn't take our advice and go to whatever team. And now he went to the Bengals. He should have held out and all this stuff. So I thought the media was just kind of bombing. And just if any praise, give him false praise and anything, just to make it sound like they weren't completely stupid. But as you said, Burrow is mature. He's more mature than like the average rookie quarterback. Definitely more than like say Palmer was when they drafted him when he came in. And I think the dude. I think he's really smart, and he just has an eye for the position. And it took him a little longer to mature because of the in college because of the way it worked out for him, because he was blocked at Ohio State, and they got the perfect opportunity in LSU, and bam, it happened. So,
he was a professional player last year. That's
I agree.
Yeah, so that's all he. That was his class.
He had a lot of talent around him.
Football,
but still, yes, he was a professional player. Yeah.
I think he understands. Obviously, he's bright, so getting the playbook and all that stuff, that wasn't going to be the issue for him, like ever. I don't think that was the issue. Like, I think he's in a situation where, like, can he, run the huddle, which people are like, oh, no, he's in control of the huddle already. Can he make all the reads? I don't think maturity is at all. It's just going to be, probably game speed if he can adjust to that.
Right. Game speed is going to be the big adjustment. and taking that first, second, third, fourth hit from a grown ass man. That's gonna be like, wait a minute, this shit hurt.
Yeah, which he's not going to get until he plays the game. It'll probably be Joey Bosa running through him at some point in time. Probably past Bobby Hart, and how to respond to that particular situation. I mean, again, you think that everybody, of course, is going to be like, oh, of course he's mature, blah 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 blah. Like I think the level of what they're talking about, because you got to go back to Kyler Murray or whatever. Like, people were talking about him last year, but people weren't like, oh, like he knows the playbook and all that. They're like, well, he's just a really good athlete. And that's what he showed. It's pretty much it.
I think he was like third round, maybe.
Yeah, Baker Mayfield.
Maybe.
Yeah, Baker Mayfield. Same situation. Like, he's got some maturity issues that clearly showed once he became a starter. That stuff. So I think, those early scouting reports are probably fairly accurate from NFL players. Like, wait, he's able to do this, this, and this at this particular point, because a player that's a veteran isn't going to be like, hey, they're hopeful that the player is good, but they probably sugarcoat it too much.
But they're on ESPN. They got him throwing the Boyd and the Green, so.
Yeah, you see him. Yeah, you see it.
Your top two
you
receivers.
See the highlights.
Yeah,
you see the highlights. Again, in a perfect world, if everybody's healthy, that offense is pretty dang on good, except for the right side of the offensive line. I mean, it's pretty good.
And the left
side.
Except for the right side of the offensive line. If
he's a first-round pick, I'll give him a break until he proves he ain't. But, yeah, it's the right side you got to worry about with Booby and company over there. So.
And one more thing, another quarterback's best friend that we might be lacking in. What's y'all feelings on the tight end?
CJ Uzomah is your starter. I mean, he's all right. IGHT. He's all right, I guess.
I don't do that shit out of Looney Tunes.
He can block, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, he can catch a little bit too. He's all right.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't like what they've done with tight end as of right now. Surprise me, brothers, please, because I don't know right now. I don't know.
His best friend is 28. That's who his best friend needs to be, and hopefully that will help out. But you never know. But
you never know.
Yeah, those dump offs 5 yards down the field to keep the chains moving are ideal and vital. I don't know if CJ is up to the task. Hopefully that he is.
Well, like I said, I'm watching. Well, maybe the world is watching Hard Knocks, and I'm looking at the Chargers back here. I hope they're scouting them too. But I know they're like, oh, Joey Bosa's like, Bengals.
Kind of off topic or whatever. Can we talk about how Bobby Hart is conspiracy brother? That he's
dude.
I mean, to be honest with you, if Mike Brown was in charge, he probably would have been cut already. To be honest with you, because the things that he's tweeting and posting are some one type stuff. He's
flat Earth.
Yeah, I mean, he's closer to flat Earth than he is to round Earth. Yeah, for sure. Like, he's a weird cat.
Yeah. Time he could be devoting to blocking, learning how to do his damn job.
He might have taken so many hits that's the kind of shit you think about after a while.
Yeah. Too.
Man, Joey Bosa gonna be like, look at UFO, huh? Sack. Oh my God.
Unidentified flying object is him. You're right.
Yeah.
Right around you, through you.
Run! Oh, yeah.
Would y'all be satisfied if in season 1, Joe Burrow was a season 1-2 Andy Dalton game manager? Would you be satisfied for season 1?
For season 1, yeah. You can't ask any more than that.
Okay.
You can't ask any more better than that. Yeah.
If he survives the season, if he stays on his feet, plays all 16 games, takes his lumps, He goes
Mm-hmm.
with 18 touchdowns, 20 touchdowns, and 12, 13 interceptions. That's a win.
Yeah, that's a win, and he's healthy.
That's about 4 or 5 wins, but it's a win for us and him.
Yeah, well, that's more the Bengals' fault than it is his, though. So yeah, I will take that all day. Yes.
All right.
Yeah, I'm thinking that's what we're gonna see too. A lot of kind of close to game manager type stuff, at least early in the season. But you know, I mean, maybe you let him go out there.
Don't throw it to Ross.
Well, let him throw. But you know, there's the theory of like let him go out and sling it, throw 25 interceptions, lose, but he gets the experience from throwing the 25 interceptions. I mean, there is that option as well, as opposed to trying to rein him in completely.
Get used to throwing to the dudes that'll be here in 2021.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I'm leaning towards that they're gonna try to rein him in, but you know, people are gonna be wanting to see him throw the damn ball. You know, you can't be in third and 8 and keep turning it off and handing it off or swinging it out to freaking Joe Mixon 5 yards.
Throw it in the flat 2 yards and attack.
Yeah. Right. You're going to see 8-man fronts until something.
Massive amounts of booing if you see that in Paul Brown Stadium. Oh, if there's any.
Yeah.
But okay. All right. Quarter 4, I said it would be a surprise, y'all. For some reason, somebody decided to send former Bengal Pac Man Jones some signed Joe Hayden Steelers jerseys.
Retail value $2.
Yeah, it didn't go well, to say the least. You know, it didn't go well. So I'm gonna try to see if we can share what happened here. Let's see if I can share this video of what happens when you send Pac Man Jones things that you shouldn't send him.
Like anything.
But yeah, no kidding.
Right. Don't fight with him at the airport either.
Yes.
Yeah, that too.
I mean, it's a bunch of jerseys too. It's not like it was one.
And he actually signed all of these?
Joe Hayden did. What else is he doing? Getting burnt, literally.
Yeah, literally. No pun intended.
And this brother filmed it and everything. My God.
Yeah, are you surprised?
No. How many times did we say like the dog on the defense, and this is the dog of all dogs, man.
The dog of all dogs.
Yeah, it don't surprise me at all.
Except for the part where he used his actual hand to touch the things.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have worn gloves and then burnt them.
No shit. Yeah.
It was bad, obviously, but you know, it just didn't. I saw something they said that maybe Joey Porter might have been behind that or whatever that sent him the jerseys, and you know, Hayden and Pac-Man kind of worked it out or whatever. So there's that.
Okay.
But not necessary. Don't do that. He's an absolute dog. You don't do that in any way.
Straight up dog.
Like, I don't know how they thought that was going to go over at all. That was just not.
Yeah,
I think they knew it was going to happen and did it on purpose.
It might have been a stunt.
I think it is.
How did Marvin survive having Burfict and Pac-Man on that team? Because Kyle, both of those dudes are literal alpha dogs. I mean, an absolute.
Well, maybe
funny thing
is fucking crazy
with no control.
But the funny thing is that now, do we have that dude on any side of our team? Is there anybody that you're like, there's just an alpha male dog like that can control or not control offense or defense? Is there anybody that you could think of that does that? Because
there ain't nobody on our team.
Boy,
no, the only one. Yeah, the only one potentially we have on offense maybe is Burrow now. Maybe. It ain't AJ. AJ don't say nothing.
He ain't right. But
you can't give him that.
You can't give him the
Gino don't say nothing.
You can't give him that C on his uniform yet. He ain't earned it.
We just got a linebacker core back.
He got to work on the V. Right now, he worked the V for varsity. As soon as you get that V first, then get that C later.
Yeah,
there you go.
It's wild. I was just like, man, you need to have that dog on the team, but
you got to have one.
have two of them dogs like that down on the team, both of them a little bit on the other side.
That was the downfall, both of them together.
It wasn't the downfall. That was fucking Jeremy Hill and his dumb ass fucking fumbling fucker. If they fucking hold on to that ball, we getting our ass beat by Denver.
I can't argue. I can't argue as much as I'd love to. I can't argue against it. He doesn't enable our defeat. It never happens. Yeah.
And the ref should have put old boy out the game because he had a concussion.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh God.
That too.
That game was so awful on so many levels.
Well, and again, if freaking Gio doesn't get concussed, he's carrying the ball at the end of that game, and there's like Gio don't fumble except in the Chargers playoff game. But anyway, all right, let's got one more share. Just to because we got Pac Man brought up, bringing that up just makes me come back to this video. Where our beloved former quarterback at Ohio State gets completely run and called garbage. Garbage. Garbage.
Garbage.
You hear that, Terrell? Yep. Nope. Garbage.
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 Garbage. He's playing for the Browns?
Yeah. Garbage.
Yeah.
Garbage.
Yeah.
Garbage. Garbage.
Did Terrell piss him off or something in that game? What was
he was talking shit, I think.
Yeah, I think he was
game or something.
Yeah. It had to be something. If he's going on like that, it had to be something. So,
but didn't Terrell Pryor, he had like 1,000-yard season as a receiver, whether it was in Cleveland or Washington, I believe. And
one of those places.
Yeah.
He was feeling himself there for a little bit, and obviously
stuck his neck up a little bit. Yeah.
I mean, I would never, ever want to see Pac Man near anywhere in the dark alley.
Light alleys.
Money.
Pop that chicken. Yeah, I don't want to see him anywhere because that's not going to end well at all.
No.
Right.
No.
I'm surprised him and Tyson don't want to fight. Or I'm surprised he's not MMA or something. I mean, he cray. He cray.
He's straight up cray. Exactly. Yeah.
And I don't even think he was crazy before.
Right. Oh, right. There will be a Saturday evening movie about that crazy mofo and his life sometimes, and I will watch it. But he is crazy as a fuck.
Coming to TV One, the Pac Man Jones story.
when he does transcend, we gotta do a CTE scan. No, I think we already know.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, I just it was good to like kind of revisit Pac Man and garbage there.
It's better than other horrible Super Bowl folly videos.
Nah.
Oh no.
Yeah, I wrapped it. I didn't want to do it. I couldn't find the video I wanted to use, but
shucks.
Time I will find it eventually. So that wraps up Who Dey over 40 versus the training camp, I guess. You know, it's pretty much
COVID.
Find this podcast on SoundCloud.
You can call it training camp.
Stitcher, Google Play, rate, review, subscribe, and check, leave a comment or something like that. We'll be back. And again, we're 28 days, I think, or 29 days till kickoff for that game against the Chargers. Whatever. I was trying
under a month
29s on the Bengals besides Leon Hall. So I'm like, I guess that's it. Leon Hall, that's number 29. I can't think of anybody else that wore 29 for the Bengals. 28.
Ricky Dixon.
Well, 28's a decent debate because obviously it's Corey Dillon, but Joe Mixon's 28 or whatever. And I think back in our early 90s days or whatever of being terrible, Harold Green was 28 too, wasn't he?
Harold Green, I was about to say.
Good. Harold Green was a
running back
player.
He was good.
Running back. What was that? What was Ben Jarvis Green Ellis number?
Green Ellis. 32, I think.
Yeah.
Or was it 42? Yeah. I don't remember. Yeah.
He was so – I watched some of them games or whatever. He was so slow. Oh, my God. Like, if he made it through the line, that was great. But, my God, he was so second-level slow was just absolutely terrible.
He was high.
He was okay. But let's not get crazy. The best thing about him was the gimmick of his name, the law firm.
The law firm.
Yeah. No, the best thing about him was like, what was his number? 42. 42. The best thing about him was like, he never fumbled, and then he get on the Bengal and then he fumbled. That's
that's right.
I remember that. I do remember that.
He hasn't fumbled in 1,000 receptions.
The Bengals are cursed.
Yeah, awful. Bengals damn cursed. For sure.
Oh, God. That's terrible.
So, Hutch, we need exit music then, man. What song is playing us out?
For whatever chucking reason, I keep thinking, Can You Feel a Brand New Day from The Wiz?
Okay. Why?
Because it's a brand new day. Hopefully. Hopefully.
That's their motto right now, ain't it? New day.
DEY, new day. Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Awful, but yeah.
That's interesting. So as the Wiz musical starts to play us out again, I'm the producer of this podcast. I'm signing off, and I give you a hearty Who Dey. Sandman, sign off.
All right, people. Who Dey? And let's pray we get a season. Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah, good luck with that. Hutch, sign off.
Yeah, go Who Dey. I'm watch them Hard Knocks and get some tips.
Yeah, man. Yeah, scout. Do some scouting, man.
Scouting, yeah.
Scout.
Yeah,
Joey Bosa's fast.
Yeah, set some strategies or some whatever to the Bengals coaches, Hutch, so we can
I'll do that.
Win the game, man. All right. We'll see everybody in a couple of weeks, probably. Peace.
Peace out.